All right, good evening, everybody. This is Gary Flather. Lula is not available to meet with us tonight, so I will be chairing the meeting. We have to go through the electronic meeting script, so I'll do that now. To conduct this meeting wholly electronically and to effectuate both the... So can I ask everybody to mute, please? Or Jason, can you find out who it is?
Yep, I just muted everybody. You just gotta mute yourself, Gary. Gary, you just have to unmute yourself, I think. I think I got everybody else.
Okay. You hear me now? Okay. To conduct this meeting wholly electronically and effectuate both the emergency procedures authorized by FOIA and the emergency ordinance, Fairfax County Athletic Council needs to make certain findings and determinations for the record. It's a bit cumbersome, so I ask you in advance for your patience. First, because each member of the Fairfax County Athletic Council is participating in this meeting from a separate location, we must verify that a quorum of members is participating and that each member's voice is clear, audible, and at an appropriate volume for all of the other members. Accordingly, I am going to conduct a roll call, or rather Jason will conduct a roll call and ask each member participating in this meeting to state your name and the location from which you are participating. I ask that each of you pay close attention to ensure that you can hear each of your colleagues. Following this roll call, we will vote to establish that every member can hear every other member. Jason?
All right. Good evening, everybody. Braddock District, Marcia Pate Daniels.
I am here from my office in the Braddock District.
Thanks, Marcia. And Braddock alternate, Mark O'Meara.
I am here at the University Mall Theaters.
Thank you, Mark. Drainsville District, Greg Beckwith.
I am here from my home in Great Falls.
Thanks, Greg. And Drainsville alternate, Brian Lewis. Hunter Mill District, Jeremy Lee. Hunter Mill alternate, Harold Leff. Lee District, Lisa Mickey.
I'm here from my home in Lee District.
Thanks, Lisa. And Lee alternate, Bill Bright. Mason District, Barbara Lowry.
I'm here in my home in Mason District.
Thanks, Barbara. Mount Vernon District, Lester Munson. Providence District, Steve McLaughlin.
I am here in my basement overlooking Harper's Ferry in the Providence District.
Thanks, Steve. And Providence alternate, Kelly Ego Aswala.
I am here from my home in Falls Church.
Thank you. Springfield District, Mike Thompson. Springfield alternate, Mark Heilbrun. Sully District, Gary Flather.
Gary Flather here from my office in Centerville, Virginia.
Thanks, Gary. And Sully District alternate, Mark Abbott.
I am here from my granddaughter's room in Richmond, hiding away, tucked away so they can't hear me.
Diversity at large, Mark Fernandez. Or alternate, Eric Sohn. Member at large, Catherine Quinn.
I am here from my home in Reston, Virginia.
Thanks, Catherine. And member at large, alternate, Anne-Marie Swope.
I'm here also at my home in Reston.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Town of Clifton, Jeff Stein.
I am here from my home in Clifton.
Thanks, Jeff. Town of Herndon, Roland Taylor.
It's Roland Taylor. I'm here at my home in Herndon, Virginia.
Thanks, Roland. Town of Vienna, Sam Altoff. Baseball Council, Rob Honey. I thought I saw Rob on here earlier. Rob, are you on right now?
Coaching third base, I think.
Yeah, might be coaching right now.
Or still on his cruise.
Basketball Council, Steve Bergstrom.
Here from NIH at work.
Thanks, Steve. Basketball alternate, Stu Clark. Fast pitch softball, Susie Williamson.
I'm here at Falls Church High School.
Thanks, Susie. Alternate Ryan Buchanan. Football Council, Mark Miena.
I'm in North Carolina at my home.
Thanks, Mark. And alternate Ted Hollingsworth.
I'm here from my home in Oakton.
Thanks, Ted. Lacrosse Council, Marianne Wagner. Or alternate Dave Paddock. Slow pitch softball, Christine Iddip. Soccer Council, Lula wasn't able to make it. Trish Moxie, alternate.
I'm here at my home in Springfield.
Thanks, Trish. Volleyball Council, Rob Bailey. And alternate Anne-Marie Swope, still on.
Still here.
Women's Sports Programs, Jenny Cantwell. Or alternate Hillary Richardson.
Hello, this is Hillary. I am here from my home in Reston. Thank you.
Thanks, Hillary. Fairfax County Park Authority, Kurt Lewis.
This is Kurt. I'm here from my home in Fairfax.
Thanks, Kurt. FCPS, Bill Curran. School Board, Megan McLaughlin. Or Community Use, Vicki Garner, John Chapman. And NCS, Lloyd Tucker. Sarah Allen. Keisha Dodson.
This is Keisha here in Fairfax.
Thanks, Keisha. And Mark Martino.
Here from my home.
All right. That's it, Gary.
We have a quorum?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At this point, I'll pass the virtual gavel over to Lisa Mickey so that I may be heard to make the requisite motion. I move that each member's voice may be adequately heard by each other member of the Fairfax County Athletic Council. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Second, having established that each member's voice may be heard by every other member, we must next establish the nature of the emergency that compels these emergency procedures, the fact that we are meeting electronically, what type of electronic communication is being used, and how we have arranged for public access to this meeting. Therefore, I move that the state of emergency caused by the COVID-19 pandemic makes it unsafe for the Fairfax County Athletic Council to physically assemble and unsafe for the public to physically attend any such meeting, and that as such, FOIA's usual procedures, which require the physical assembly of the Fairfax County Athletic Council and the physical presence of the public, cannot be implemented safely or practically. I further move that the Fairfax County Athletic Council may conduct its meeting electronically via Microsoft Teams, and that the public may access this meeting by calling 1-571-429-5982 in the United States. In Arlington, phone conference ID 522-393-837#. It is so moved.
Second.
Lisa?
Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Thank you. Finally, it is next required that all matters addressed on today's agenda must address the emergency itself, are necessary for the continuity in Fairfax County government, and or are statutorily required or necessary to continue operations and the discharge of the Fairfax County Athletic Council lawful purposes, duties, and responsibilities. It is so moved.
Second.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Awesome. Now we can get to the agenda. Roll call's done. Do we have any citizens to address the council? Are you aware of any, Jason?
I'm not aware of any now.
Are there any citizens to address the council? Speak up, please. Hearing none. Do we have any presentations to the council?
No, sir, I don't believe we do.
Administrative items, we need to approve the October 20th minutes.
Move we approve the minutes.
Is there a
Second.
second? Who seconded?
Mark did. Yeah.
Mark did. Any objections, any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
How about we do it this way? Any
Yes.
anybody against it?
Hearing no objections.
Hearing no objections, the minutes are approved. I have no chairman report sitting in for Lula. She did not share any notes with me, so we'll move forward with the committee reports, which looks like I'm going to dominate the meeting tonight. So the Sports Tourism Implementation Committee Task Force, we have not met. The next holiday is not till next year. We will follow up in the interim. Jason, we probably could defer this till maybe the February or March meeting.
Okay.
All right. Communications with Fairfax County partners, specifically FCPS, FCPA, NCS, and community users. We did have our first meeting on this. I am chairing that committee. We basically met for a short period of time and established the members of the meeting, and we basically went through some highlights. I really have no info to share. I think the next meeting that we're going to have, I think we said January, if I remember. Jason, is that what we said?
Yeah,
I think it was
you're going to
January.
reconvene after the holidays and everything.
Right. So I'll probably set that meeting up before the January council meeting. So I'll have a report then on where we're at. Any questions on either of those? Moving forward, we'll do the reports by the sports representatives. Jason, you want to go through those?
Baseball is Rob on?
I know he's on. He texted me and said he was on. He just doesn't know why people can't hear him. That's what he let me know.
All right. Basketball, Steve?
Basketball for winter is starting. Quick poll of several youth clubs indicates that I think that the target will probably be somewhere around 80% of the players coming back. There's still not a one of the pyramid is our big layer of kids are down at the lower ages, and there's no vaccine for that yet. But the 5-year-olds got it, are eligible to get it. So we anticipate as that number comes up, we'll see more players, and hopefully next year we'll be completely back.
Thanks, Steve. Next is fast pitch softball, Susie. Susie, are you there?
I think she was also at a field.
Yeah, I believe so. We can go to football council. Mark and Ted.
Yeah, I'm going to let Ted Hollingsworth, my wingman here, go over. Ted, you on?
Yeah, we completed our season this past Saturday with our championships. Everything went very well, I think, from a league perspective. Great participation up and down throughout the age groups, and we're now having clubs are going through equipment return. So until next August, we're done.
Ted, we got one requirement. I'm getting it from Rob Honey at third base. He says, "Can you wear something on your head? You're glaring out my camera."
Sorry, I'll tilt my head back.
Okay. All right. It's much better.
All right. Thank you, guys. Lacrosse council. I don't believe anybody was on for lacrosse. Soccer council, Lula or Trish?
Yes, this fall we had a record number of both rec and travel soccer participants. We finished up regular seasons and makeup games this past weekend, and we're going into the last tournaments this coming weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. Volleyball. I don't believe Rob's on. Anne Marie.
Hi, yes. The high school boys season has ended. There were 25 teams this season and champions in 3 divisions. The girls' high school state championship is this Friday, and Herndon High School beat Alexandria City last night to advance to the finals and will represent Fairfax and Liberty District. Little plug, my daughter's on this team, so I'm very excited. And then we're seeing more interest in the younger age groups for volleyball, and we've seen quite a few new 6th grade boys leagues and teams popping up recently. And then there's also give you guys a heads up, you may have seen it, there's a change.org petition to help get more volleyball high school teams, throughout the county. So there's that petition that's going around to get more boys high school volleyball in the schools throughout the county. And that's it.
All right, thanks, Anne Marie. Just going back for baseball, did Rob happen to sign back on? And Susie, were you there to give an update?
Yeah, I'm here. We will be, can you hear me? So yep. I'm sorry, I can't tell on my phone. So we will be having a softball council meeting on December 5th. Again, going over the equity issues with the loss of fields at Falls Church, Louise Archer, James Madison, South Lake. So those were kind of complexes that were built for softball, girls softball, to help with some Title IX issues. Talk about the park authority and for the teams to be able to be on them earlier, just kind of stuff like that. Some of the other sports are able to use lights the entire year, they're saying. So just touch base like that, and obviously check in with each other because it's been a bit since we've been together. But those would be the 2 main things we'll be discussing in the community. So, and it was a good fall. So stuff's happening. So there you go.
Thanks, Susie. I don't believe there's anybody else, Gary.
Hey, Jason.
Yep.
Sorry, this is Anne Marie again. I did forget one thing. I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
That all the volleyball clubs have finalized their tryouts, and the team should be formed this week, and practices will start after the holiday.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very good. All right. That's it for the sport representatives. We can go to the governing bodies, school board. Was anybody here from the school board?
I don't believe anyone signed on. Unless
Bill Curran get on? No.
No, I know Bill had said he couldn't make it tonight and was asking Vicky or John, and then Vicky said John was going to be on, and I'm not sure if he has jumped on or not.
I just see a dial-in number. I don't believe that's him.
All right. We'll move forward and Kurt with the Park Authority.
All right, let me got the button off. All right, not a lot to update you on. Obviously, Holiday Field is open. Oak Bar is open and complete. Both look really good. We're happy the seasons are ending. Give us a little break and work on some fields. I think it was last week. The Park Authority Board approved the irrigation replacement of all the Greenbrier fields. So at that time, we're going to try to come in and hopefully try to do the infields at the same time. We're going to try to do it this winter before spring. That's our goal. We'll see how winter holds out, but to try to knock those 2 out and do infield work at the same time some of the irrigation is going on. So other than that, that's it. Oh, Patriot North, an update. I've been told the topsoil's been stripped. We're pretty much there. And according to the project manager, we're about 20% complete, which I don't know if that's really true, but at least all the topsoil is stripped off the site. So it's moving right along. Weather has not held it up too much.
Yeah, I will piggyback on your comment, Kurt, because I go out there every week and take a look at it and what's going on, and they are making tremendous progress on there. So that 20% is probably correct.
Yep, and that's it for me.
All right. Mark, I'm assuming you're taking the NCS.
Yeah, I got a few things for you. Winter gym season has started, as you all know, and Steve said, actually for basketball and some other things. And Should have forms that went out to be signed, kind of the COVID forms that kind of make sure everybody understands that if you are in the gym and you are participating, if you're out on the court, you're fine not to wear a mask. But at this point, everyone else that is in the gym needs to wear a mask. And also, if there are cases that they use the red cap link to make sure that the health department gets it and then can track it and do that. So we've sent those forms out. We had one group had called and said, do we have to do this every season since it's basically the same form? And we're saying yes, one, because we don't know if there's any changes, and we want to make sure that seasonally we have, because we have different groups and things. So that's on that. Also, just on the on gym usage, there's a lot of consternation issues with late blockouts, and just wanted to kind of give you an update of kind of what happens. And this goes back probably to our communication with Fairfax County that Gary, that our thing is, and that just to let you know, we get late cancellations all the time. We got some the other day for South County, they canceled 11/17. We got one from Fairfax Villa that's canceling tomorrow night. And they're putting them in the day before concerts and things of that nature. And just to understand, this is not, it's not community use's fault that these events get put in, because they're getting put in by the schools. The schools are actually putting them in. And the problem is, we believe, and this is what we're trying to work through community use, that they know about these events way in advance. They know they're having a concert, tomorrow night, so it should be put in advance. They know there's back to school night. They know there's other things, and that's what we're trying to work through. So when you get a late cancellation, it's basically because the school has put in okay, we have a concert. We reach out to community use, they contact the school says, yes, we have this concert, we can't have basketball in the gym. We accept that conflict, and then you get notification one day or 3 hours or whatever it is that your activity is canceled for that evening. That's the system that we're trying to work through in I think the group that we're trying to form. Jason, is that pretty accurate, kind of describe kind of what happens? I just want to make sure I'm making the right description.
Yeah, just kind of, so we do basically a transfer of all of our events. And so we did that for the winter back on October 8th. And then we send the permits to all of our groups like a month before that the season starts. So the groups have had their permits since the bigger groups have had it since the middle of October. So they have permits and they're scheduling based off that. And then, like Mark said, we'll get cancellations pretty much daily for these concerts that, like we met last week, Gary, that the annual events that we know happen every year, the voting stuff, concerts like that have been planned out. And it's just working through how do we get those late cancellations to be put in before we do our transfer. That way, when the schedule's set, there's maybe a couple changes instead of these every day somebody's getting canceled.
Right. And we know that there are going to be exceptions. We know whether it's a snow day and the next it's going to be exception, or something happens and a lot of it is because the school personnel has changed, so different people are doing things, and we're working through all that. But I just wanted to kind of give you a kind of an overview of because a lot of people call us, why am I getting this? And just kind of wanted to, and then you can go back to your groups and explain to them, this is why it happens. We got to try to maybe change it, but just wanted you to kind of know the process it goes through. And if anybody has any questions on that, please, I'll be willing to answer anything now at this point.
And I'll just piggyback on that from the subcommittee standpoint. That was a focus of our conversation, is the constant last minute messaging. And part of the problem is the schools are run by each principal, and their turnover rate is probably astronomical with their PTAs and the groups that are putting this stuff on. But from a community user standpoint, our position has always been, about Veterans Day, about voting day, about the band concerts, about the choral concerts. There are certain items that about that should be, the first couple weeks of school, we should know for the year what that is and why they can't get put in. And John Chapman is part of the group, as well as Bill Curran. So we are trying to address that. But I will mention that Mark Abbott made a comment in our meeting that, it is a good point. If you reach out to each school individually as a user group, so for all the magisterial reps, share that. I know that it's part of the process at the high school level is to meet with the DSAs, but it probably behooves all of us to meet with the middle school and elementary schools and find out what their deals are. It would help.
And Gary, I think that's part of the issue is that, and again, whether it's John or Vicky or whatever, part of they don't want us reaching out individually to schools. And so I think there's that miscommunication. Some are, some aren't. And so there's a lot of different things that are going on. And that's why this group is so important, because we all need to be on the same page. And until we are, we're always going to have these hiccups in the system. And I understand, and I've even said to Vicky, I understand you want that one point of contact. You want to know when people are contacting. But, if we get a call, from a user group saying that, hey, we can't find the crank to put the basket down, if we have to go through 10 steps where we could just call the school and say, hey, do you know where the crank is? Yeah, it's in the closet. We'll leave it out. Those are some things that we're trying to work through. So hopefully within that committee, we can come up with a process that seems to be good for everyone.
Agreed.
Anybody else have any either comments or questions about that particular topic? Okay, next thing I want to talk about is we were charged with making sure that you all were able to read and were able to acknowledge that you read the one Fairfax document that was put out by the Board of Supervisors, and it's a requirement that all of our athletic council members read and acknowledge that they have read it. Right now, we're still about 13 light of those athletic council members that have not read the document and acknowledge it, and it is in a DocuSign format. I know Gary and I spoke today. I'm going to reach out individually to each one. I think 4 of those ones that have not acknowledged reading it are at the meeting. So when you get my phone call, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there are 9 that are not here at the meeting. So I'm going to reach out to them individually just to try to find, and then I'm going to follow up with an email that will have the letter from Supervisor McKay, that there's a link on it that when you click it, it shows the actual one Fairfax document, and you read that, and then another attachment will have the DocuSign that you're acknowledging that you have read it. So that's coming across, and we're kind of behind, and I know we sent out things to everybody. We sent out reminders. Sometimes they get lost, but you'll hear from me tomorrow. And I have everybody's cell phone number. So I will, Gary, I won't call you because we talked today. I don't know. Were you able to, I don't know if you were able to get it done today, or you'll get it done tomorrow.
I did not. I'll take care of it tomorrow. I am one of the 13, so thanks for calling.
I don't want to mention any names. I don't want to embarrass Gary. But no, yeah.
I will get it done tomorrow, as everybody else should. It is an acknowledgement letter that you're acknowledging that that NCS did provide it to you and that you've read it.
Yeah. So I'll get that to those of you that have not been able to do that yet. We'd love to try to get everybody done by Friday of this week if we can. So I will be on the phone tomorrow, and we'll follow up with everybody with an individual email. Okay. Any questions about that for me? So I think that's it. Yeah, winter gyms are starting. Winter fields will start pretty soon, and and then we'll hit the holidays and be rolling. So that's it from the NCS side.
Great. Thanks, Mark. One point of information, excuse me, for everybody is a reminder for Chris Pulley that the Champions of Character Awards are nominations are due by December 15th. So we still have some slots that are empty. So if the magisterial reps and the sport reps and the alternates, if you all could reach out to your jurisdictions and get people to submit nominations. It's all done electronically online. A few of us are on the committee with Chris to make this happen. It's a great event, whether we do it virtually or we do it semi-virtually. In February, I believe, is when we're planning to do it. We need those nominations, and it would be a shame to have a magisterial rep that does not have any nominations. So, you know, if everybody can go back and push that, I think it's a great opportunity.
And Gary, I can I'll send out the link again to where you can submit the nominations and everything.
Perfect. Thanks, Jason. Okay, any new business? Anybody have any new business they'd like to share or bring up? Any old business? Do I have a meeting adjournment? A motion to adjourn?
Just, and I guess there's no meeting next month, right?
And I'll second it.
I'm sorry, Mark, what was that?
There was, we'll have to redo that because there was conversation. Mark was asking about the December meeting, if we're having a December meeting or not. I think that's Lula's call.
Okay.
We'll let her make that decision, and we'll get Jason to send something out if we're going to have it or not. I think typically we would do a kind of Christmas thing in December, but since we're not meeting in person, don't know if that's necessary or not. But I'll touch base with Lula tomorrow and find out if she wants to proceed. All right. I think Steve McLaughlin made a motion. Is that correct? To adjourn?
Yes.
And there was a second by?
Second, Marcia.
Marcia. Any opposed? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for attending, and we'll see you either in December or January. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Happy Thanksgiving.